Good evening. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Sonoma Design Review and Historic Preservation Commission on Tuesday, January 9th at 6 p.m. Let's have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Carmody,
Present.
Commissioner Randolph,
Present.
Commissioner Harren,
Present.
Vice Chair JAHROMI,
Present.
Chair AMAR.
Present. Now we will make a motion to approve the agenda. Could we have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
And a roll call.
Commissioner Carmody,
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
Commissioner Harren,
Aye.
Vice Chair JAHROMI,
Aye.
Chair AMAR.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And now it looks like we have a little bit of a different schedule than usual. Usually we do late correspondence, but I don't see that on our agendas anymore. But I do see the Pledge of Allegiance is on there.
Yep, that is a new option that we put on that's on the Planning Commission and City Council.
Alrighty.
We would like to do and keep on in it.
Should we make a motion?
Have it or not? I'm trying to just be consistent.
Okay. Okay. Do we want to? Does anybody feel strongly about this? Okay. Well, then I think that maybe we can just let the city council keep doing the Pledge of Allegiance on our behalf, and we'll scoot right on along with things, if you don't mind. Okay, great. So are we going to have a late correspondence section anymore? That's gone? Okay, great. In that case, we'll move along to comments from the public. Are there comments from the public?
And there are currently no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent calendar, we have two items. We have the minutes from the regular Design Review and Historic Preservation Commission meeting on November 14th, 2023. And we have 3.2, request to install banners on Plaza Light Standards, Sonoma International Film Festival, subject to a categorical exemption pursuant to Section 15311 of the CEQA guidelines. And shall we do a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move we approve the consent calendar.
I second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote.
Commissioner Carmody,
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
Commissioner Harren,
Aye.
Vice Chair JAHROMI,
Aye.
Chair AMAR.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thanks, Natalie. And now we are at the public hearing. So 4.1 is discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve a sign permit at 801 West Napa for the replacement of a wall sign and monument sign with a variance to allow a reduced setback, including action to approve a categorical exemption pursuant to Section 15301 and 15311 of the state CEQA guidelines. And do we have a staff report?
Yes, we do have a brief staff report and presentation. So Jennifer Gates, Community Development Director, presenting for Elena Lip, that was the planner that processed this application. So again, this is for DeWitt's Tire and Brake at 801 West Napa Street. It is for a sign permit. So it's located, as seen here, it's in between two streets, but the signs will be facing West Napa Street. It is in our commercial zone and located on the Sonoma Highway corridor, and it has about 100-foot frontage. So here's a view of that, and here's the project site. It's a single-story commercial auto repair and garage with a parapet roof and 2 garage doors. It does have 2 curb cuts and driveways from West Napa Street that wrap the proposed monument sign. But first, we'll talk about a little bit more about the location. So again, one's a wall sign and then a two-sided monument sign in the existing location that the current sign is in. So if you drive on Sonoma Highway, you'll see there's a temporary sign that just says opening soon or open now, I think is what it changed to recently. And so it'd be in that location. No lighting is proposed for this sign. It does need a variance due to its location. Our code states it's either 6 feet from back of the street frontage or sidewalk. And when you drive on the street, you see lots of different locations. And in this case, this one is technically 8 inches from the back of the sidewalk, but 8 feet from the actual street. So here's the wall sign and its location. It's a white sign with some high contrast lettering and a little symbol for DeWitt's tires. It's aluminum with a vinyl face, and the external light fixtures are not going to be used and they will be removed. Here's the monument sign. Again, it's the existing structure. We're just replacing the signage itself. That's on the existing pressure treated posts. We talked about painting it white so it blends in with the rest of the sign. It meets all of the requirements of our zoning code for size, the number of signs, the complete sign aggregate signage that's allowed on the property. The only issue, as previously discussed, was just the setback from the street. It does not meet the 6-foot requirement. So as far as the variance goes, we did look in the area and see where other existing signs are within that corridor, and noted there are a number of signs that are within that 6 inches or such from the public street or from the back of the sidewalk, and meet the 8 feet from the back of the curb. So with that, staff's recommendation is to approve the sign permit and the variance as proposed, subject to the findings and the conditions of approval that were attached to the staff report. And that concludes staff's presentation. The applicant is in the room as well, if they would like to give a little bit more comments.
Thank you. I don't have any questions for staff, do you? Okay. Is the applicant available then? And please come to the podium and state your name. Oh, it's optional. Hi.
Hi,
And what's your name, please?
Margaret Newton.
Hi, Margaret. Can you tell us a little bit about your sign project?
Yes, well, we recently moved into the building. We're tenants of it. Just opened up in October. We used to be out on 8th Street East. We're now in town, wanting to advertise our business, so we're wanting to install some signs, upgrade the building a little bit. So that's where we're at, just submitting. I will say we had talked about painting the wood white. That's been done. So we did that, cleaned up the bottom half. All that extra wood is gone, so it's just the rectangular structure now. So
Great, thank you. Do we have questions for the applicant? Yes.
Any restriction that doesn't allow you to push the sign back 6 inches?
oh, good.
From
I'm
the
glad you
side.
asked. Our business is in a way where we don't have parking like behind the building or anything like that, or beside the building. It's all out front. So we have employee and customer parking all within that front area. If we were to push that sign back, it's then taking up, we would lose 2 spaces. And we're already cramped as it is for parking. We would have to pull up concrete. It would be this big thing that it just wouldn't be conducive to the area. As far as, I'm glad you asked actually, because the sign is raised off the ground so you can see under it. Because I know it is close to the street and the sidewalk right there, but if you're in a vehicle, you can see under the sign for clearance of pedestrian and cars coming and those sorts of things. So there's that also.
Thank you.
And do we have public comments from the room or on Zoom?
There are currently no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. You may go back to your seat. Thank you so much. At this time, I will close the meeting to the public and bring it back to the commission. It's Commissioner Herron.
Thank you for the detailed staff report.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new location. I have no questions at this point. Thank you.
Thanks. Commissioner JAHROMI.
No comment.
Commissioner Randolph.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome to the neighborhood. And I'm glad you're getting a sign because your business is sitting back so far from the street. So I think it could be hard for people to find you, especially on their first visit. The variance seems like it makes sense, especially in light of the fact there are other signs in the neighborhood with similar situations to you guys. So I think it was a very straightforward application, and I'm inclined to approve.
And Commissioner Gormany.
You know, I tend to agree with the other commissioners. I think this is one example of where having a little bit of latitude and an exception to a process makes sense, particularly when you consider the other surroundings and what's available. So I have no objections.
Thank you. I agree with my fellow commissioners, and I quite like both of the signs, especially with the touch of yellow and the white. It's going to catch people's eyes from a little farther away. So I think both signs are very good. So let's make a motion to approve, if somebody might.
I make a motion to approve agenda item 4.1, subject to conditions and approvals.
My second.
And a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gormany,
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
Commissioner Herron,
Aye.
Vice Chair JAHROMI,
Aye.
Chair AMAR.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you so much. Now we'll move along to item 4.2, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve a design review application at 630 2nd Street West for amendment to approved landscape plans, including action to approve a categorical exemption pursuant to section 15304 of the state CEQA guidelines. And then just get staff report, please.
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer Gates, again, Community Development Director. So this location is our fire station number 1 at 632nd Street West. So it's across the street from the shopping center. And I think everybody probably knows where this is. And if you don't, I'd be surprised. So what we're looking at is currently a request for the landscape modifications. So it is, as we all know, a single-story fire station headquarters and the Sonoma Valley Fire Museum. In 2001, our architectural I'm going to forget what the R was, review committee, approved the revised landscape plan when they built the fire station. And as such, according to our code, any modifications to that does require design review approval. And so that's what's before you today. So the project is to replace the existing landscaping that is in the front. It will comply with all of our city standards for landscaping, be drought tolerant, and is also going to be a demonstration garden for fire-wise landscaping. There are no new trees being proposed, and the existing trees are going to be preserved, so there is no tree removal permits requested with this. So here is the simplified proposed landscaping plan showing some different landscape features and a new plant palette for this area. These are some examples of that plant palette. Will be very colorful, which is exciting. Just showing what the different options are that are drought tolerant and again, fire-wise. Here's some examples of the landscape features that would be incorporated into the plans in front of the fire station. So again, the application for the landscaping does comply with our water efficiency requirements. It is integrated into our site design. It does have an automatic drip irrigation system that is going to be location based for each plant. It does have a native plant palette, and it does have stormwater and firewise. So it does comply with all of our requirements for landscape. With that, staff is recommending approval of the design review permit as proposed, subject to the findings and conditions of approval. And we have a representative from the fire department here for any questions that you may have about the project. And staff, of course, is here to answer any questions as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hi there.
Hi.
Could
Good
you
evening.
tell us your name, please?
Gary Johnson with Sonoma Valley Fire, Administrative Captain. Yeah, so this project came out about when I was stationed at the Agua Caliente station on Highway 12. We had some community members come to the station and wanted to do some beautification of that station with us. So we got some funding together, and with the community's help, we re-landscaped that station to somewhat of a Firewise garden at that time. Now, as we know, things have been changing. There's new laws that go into effect. AB 3074 is coming up, and that changes a lot of the landscape of more so in the unincorporated areas or in the state land areas, not so much within the city limits. But we would like to showcase that since we represent the whole valley as a fire district. We cover, you know, the city of Sonoma, Boys Hot Springs, El Verano, Agua Caliente, Glen Ellen, and now we're providing staffing services in Kenwood. So we want to kind of showcase that as part of the project. I went in for a grant for $20,000 through a fire foundation and was awarded that grant for this project. And so that's kind of what's moved it to this step, is trying to get that approved so we can move forward with the landscaping.
Yeah, that's great. You have questions?
I do. First of all, thank you very much for providing opportunity to educate all of us on Firewise plantation. Can you, for my information, tell me what Firewise plantation means?
Firewise it's that whole aspect. So it starts from the community all the way down to your home site. It's that the fuel and vegetation that's planted between your home and the environment. So Firewise is a national program that a small group of home owners can get them to come out, and you actually apply for the Firewise community application. And if you meet within all their guidelines of like defensible space, the correct plant spacing and all that to provide that protection to your home and the rest of your community, they'll award a certificate for that Firewise community, and you actually can get a reduction on your homeowner's insurance. So we just recently, the George Ranch off of Grove Street just was awarded a Firewise community, and they're already seeing some of the people that have turned in those certificates to their insurance $400 to $500 a year savings. So that's what we're pushing for community-wide, to provide a safer community. And with this Firewise demonstration garden, it's to utilize these different products. Again, rainwater capture, going back into our soils, not running off into the drains. So a lot of those features are incorporated in this, and different products to retain that water into the soil. No really ground cover, using plants as ground cover, not so much like mulch, because we know in the fire environment that those actually spread embers farther away and could ignite your homes. That AB 3074 assembly bill that is going to go into effect is within the first 5 feet of your home, which is no combustibles, so no plants. They're talking about allowing succulents only. So a lot of this demonstration garden is going to be different products that we can use in that 5 foot zone to kind of demonstrate to the public what options they have out there.
Thank you. By the way, I enjoyed your collection of equipment in that station for
Oh.
old-time firefighters.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes.
I was really excited to read about this project, and also thank you for taking care of us here in Sonoma. So one of the questions I had is, it's not related really to your application, but do you have some type of promotion plans for letting the public know about the gardens? And it's going to be a demonstration
Yeah.
garden, so yeah, could you
so
talk
part
about
of
that?
part of the grant is inclusive of promotion and advertising.
Great.
I've already reached out to local landscape and nurseries that are going to help in the project, and actually they were willing to fund the project. So we're going to have quite a bit of funds to do the project, and hopefully my plan is to try to have some community days so that we can do like planning days or come and work at the station days. So more to come on that if we get approval. So it's kind of still in those planning phases right now.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that I've seen some demonstrations about Firewise and some simple things like wooden fences coming adjacent to houses with growth on them and how fast they catch on fire, which people are not aware of. So I think in this community and what we've been through, I think it's a great idea to have it where you can show it as a demonstration. So it's a good idea. And you can show it in real world, say, here's what you should do, right? That's the idea is to be a demonstration.
Yep.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, because part of my job is to go out and do defensible space inspections or go to people's houses and tell them how to become more firewise. And a lot of it is when we initially plant our plants, like you could see the station's kind of overgrown, the maintenance part goes away. People plant the plants and they just, oh, it's growing, it's great. Well, there has to be that maintenance component of it. So a big part of the job I do now is you're not supposed to have a shrub within 10 feet of another shrub. So that spacing's pretty big. So there's going to be a lot more rock features and stuff at this versus so many plants. You can have bunches of plants, but just not big shrubs next to each other, because once one shrub catches on fire, it's just going to continuously burn as it gets closer to the house. So it's about breaking up that fire cycle. So, yeah.
I just second my fellow commissioners. I'm excited about this. I think it's great. I love that you guys have partnered with the Sonoma Ecology Center to have their participation. Sounds like other landscapers and botanists are helping out with that. One thing just to consider, I wondered if it had been considered, to have the community outreach days, I think are fantastic, but you're so visible there, and everyone's doing the walk-bys or when the school kids arrive to, have a field day with all the firefighters. Have you guys considered putting up like a plaque of some sort or some sort of signage so that just because you're so visible and people are always there, I wonder if there's, some more credit you could get just by someone observing what you guys have done, being a shining example and being fire cool.
This is what you should plant in this area. This is what you should avoid. And then a sponsors list of those companies that are going to help out and stuff.
So great.
All that's going to be recognized.
Very cool. I'm very excited. Thank you for sharing.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You may
you.
take a seat and
All right.
we'll go quickly through the commission, I think. Commissioner Cormany?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I've seen a couple of demonstrations in the fire safety, and it's astonishing things we take for granted and how fast it gets out of control. So I think it's a great idea. It's really great to showcase it and kind of walk the walk. So totally in favor.
Commissioner Randolph?
Yeah, agree. Great project, great community effort, community builder. Agree with my fellow commissioner about your collaboration with the Ecology Center. And then congratulations on getting a grant. That's fantastic. So anyway, I look forward to this project being finished.
Vice Chair JAHROMI?
As I said, it's a very good opportunity for public to get educated on the firefighting and fire prevention. Thank you. That's a great job.
And Commissioner HAREN?
I'm excited to see this project completed and bring my kids by. So thank you for for engaging and with the community and applying for the grant. But what a great opportunity to teach a lot of us some things that we don't know and make it look beautiful and keep us safe. So I think it's a great initiative.
And I agree with my fellow commissioners, and I really appreciate you going above and beyond with your community service here. And this is going to be such a great educational tool and way to get more people involved with your fire station that's already pretty interactive. So this is just great. So thank you so much.
I just, Chair Amar, I just wanted to remind you to open and close public comment.
Oh, and the public comment shall now be closed.
I would note for the record, too, there was no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you very much. And let's have a motion to approve, please.
Okay, I move that we approve item 4.2. That is about improved landscaping plans for the fire station. I move that we approve the application as submitted.
I second the motion.
And roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Cormany,
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
Commissioner Herron,
Aye.
Vice Chair Jerome,
Aye.
Chair Amar.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. And let's see, do we have items for discussion this evening?
There's no items for discussion, but I do have comments and announcements.
Yes,
You want to
please.
go ahead and go into that? So just to let you know, as you noticed, the agenda has changed. We're looking to be a little bit more consistent with City Council's agenda formatting. So your question about the late comments. So we won't have a section on late comments. It's really the planner's role at the item to present those comments during their item. So they're typically connected to an item that you would be hearing. So that's when we would inform you all of any comments that we received after you probably have looked at them. Also, just wanted to let everybody know tomorrow night we're having our second general plan task force meeting over in the EOC, and then that's at 5 o'clock. And then on January 23rd, Planning Commission, the Parks Rec Open Space Commission, as well as the Climate Action Commission will be holding a special joint meeting to talk about trees. And it's going to be all about trees. So we're going to look at our current policies and what are some ideas for improvement to move forward with in regards to our tree policies and implementation of those. And then lastly, on January 29th, we'll be having another community meeting on the general plan at the community center. So, and that would be at 6 o'clock. So, yeah, it's going to be a busy month.
Very busy. All right, and now we have commissioner reports and comments. Do we have any comments or reports? And can we have some clarification on what this new section means?
Sure, this is your opportunity. If there's something that you know about that's going on in the community or some meeting that you participated in that you want to share with your fellow commissioners or the public, this is your opportunity to do that. Also, if there's any clarifying items or things that you want us to look at into the future, this is your opportunity also to provide those comments.
Okay, great.
So it's not something that you can discuss as a commission. It's just items that you may want to agendize for a future commission meeting, or maybe there's trainings that you saw that you want to share. So, or what you learned from something. This is your time.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Perhaps in the future, we could get a status on the train district.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting at 6:30.
Well done.